Yo, what's going on YouTube? I am Germ here. As you guys can see up on the screen, we are looking at the Paris 2023 sticker capsules. We are getting closer and closer to the day that these are probably and hopefully going to be going on the 75% sale all the way down to 25 cents. So we are starting to get ready for which of these sticker capsules we should be loading up on. Which of these should we be buying to maybe flip in the short term, to maybe start a position to hold for the long term or invest in or whatever. So in this video today, I wanted to try and find out which of these sticker capsules is going to be the best buy, the best investment, and go from there. So I think first I want to start off by saying that most, and historically, at least from the past couple majors, most of these sticker capsules will move together. They'll go up and down at the same times. Yes, the magnitudes will be different, but they'll all kind of move in the same direction. And they will all usually generally go up over time, and they'll all be pretty sound investments or overall pretty safe investments. I think pretty much all the sticker capsules we're going to look at in this video today have at the very least doubled in some period of time. Definitely none of them have like lost money if you're buying at the lows, if you're buying at the sale prices or anything like that. So none of these are necessarily bad investments or probably going to lose you any money, if not much at all. So keep that with a grain of salt. Keep that in mind. But just know that, yes, you can obviously find the biggest winner and potentially the biggest loser from each group as well. So wanted to look back and see from all the most recent sticker packages which capsules have actually done the best, to see what we can learn from those and see if we can use that to learn anything about the Paris major. So going all the way back to RMR, we can see that the prices are all very much the same for RMR. The quantities are actually, astronomical. There's 72,000 of the RMR Legends listed, 37,000 of the RMR Challengers, and 35,000 of the RMR Contenders. Even though the quantities are different, Legends almost double, we can see that the prices are all still relatively the same, and it hasn't been that great, 34 cents, 32 cents, 35 cents, whatever. But again, if you bought these at the sale prices of 25 cents, and if you look at these graphs, you should have been able to get these things for much, much, much lower than 25 cents. I mean, these things bottomed out at around 15 cents or something like that. There was definitely days when you would have been able to pick them up for 15 cents. Again, going from 15 cents to 34 cents, that's over doubling. That's still not a bad investment depending on when you are buying and selling. But over the lifetime, these things have peaked all the way up to around 61 cents, which again, if you bought at 15 cents, that's over tripling. So even though these ones look a little lackluster at first, maybe, and maybe people had to hold on to them for a little bit longer than they would have wanted, you still, if you bought and sold at the right times, could have tripled or at the very least doubled your money pretty easily. But these ones are a little bit different because there's so many different teams in them, so it's a little bit hard to take too much from these. But I did want to at least show you guys, what's going on with these a little bit. But then this takes us to Stockholm in 2021, obviously the first major back from COVID. And we can see here that these investments have done very good. Again, sale prices for these things are 25 cents, and all of these sticker capsules, 87 cents, $3.48, $1.28, $3.34, and 74 cents. They all have killed it. They've all been amazing investments, tripling your money in 2 years. That's insane. Maybe it's not. Maybe some people wouldn't say it's insane for CSGO or blah, 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 blah. But for money, for investing, for whatever, now obviously you have to take out fees and stuff like that when trying to sell. So it's not exactly 3x, but it's still very, very good. But let's see what we have here. We have the Contenders, the Legends, and the Challengers. And we have the cheapest one here, this being Furia, EG, Vitality, Gambit, Ninjas in Pajamas, Navi, G2, and Team Liquid. And this seems a little bit weird that this one would be the cheapest, because a lot of very, very cool and popular teams, Navi, G2, Team Liquid, Vitality, Furia. So I don't necessarily off the rip understand why this one has performed so poorly. It did get all the way up to around $4, over $4, again, all the way from 25 cents, which that's just insane returns. That's insane. That's great. But one thing is that the quantities are so high, and are the quantities so high because there were so many popular teams in there? I don't know for sure, but if we go to the second best performing from Stockholm, we can see here still some popular and cool teams. There is Astralis, there's Heroic, Pain Gaming, very, very big Brazilian team and organization, and also Mouse, which is kind of like the star. We also have Team Spirit, kind of a cool dragon logo, but Mouse being in this one definitely helps. And again, the quantities being about half has definitely helped the performance of this one. Getting to $15 at its peak all the way from 25 cents is just disgusting. But if we look at this, going from 25 cents after the sale ends to like $1, $1.50 just a couple of months later, insane performance. But the best from Stockholm 2021 was the Contender Series. We can see here a lot of cool and interesting logos. We have the Copenhagen Flames. We have Entropic. We have FaZe with their cool logo. We have Virtus Pro. We have the Tai Lu kind of dragon. So this definitely seems like, you know, the most unique set of logos, the most interesting set of logos, and it has performed very, very well. It didn't peak at $15 or anything like that. It peaked at around $7, but right now it's sitting at the highest price overall. And again, the quantities are about half. I mean, for Stockholm Challengers, it's even, you know, less than half of the Legends. So quantities definitely matter, but also the stickers inside definitely matter as well. But so far from this one, we saw that the most popular teams didn't necessarily perform the best. So that's maybe something a little bit interesting to note. In Antwerp, we have, you know, where they're split into autograph capsules and regular sticker capsules. We can see that all the prices are pretty similar here. We have the Legends being the most expensive, and we have the Contenders being the least expensive, but they're within reason of each other. Again, all of these have done very well. If you're able to buy at 25 cents, they peaked at around $1.71. They're at 50 cents right now. This was still a fine investment. But at the bottom here, in the cheapest, we have a lot of not very popular, not very cool teams. You know, Team Liquid stands out to me as a big organization here, but other than that, not a lot of big orgs. So it doesn't shock me that this one is more towards the bottom. You can also see quantities are crazy here, but this time, the capsule with the highest quantity is actually the highest price as well. So we can see we can't necessarily make any direct comparisons to quantity and price, because obviously demand, supply and demand is also the other half of this equation. So if there's enough demand, it can even overcome, you know, huge supply. So even though this one has like a third of the supply of the Legends, it still has not performed as well. Then we get into the Challenger sticker capsule, which this one has some bigger teams, more popular, more interesting. It's got this cool Imperial Esports logo, which I like. It's got G2, Astralis, Vitality. Yeah, and it's done pretty similarly. Like I said, you can look at a lot of these graphs. They all have done pretty similarly, up to $1.50 from 25 cents, sitting at around 50 cents right now. And finally, the most popular from this group was, once again, the Copenhagen Flames. It's got Heroic, FaZe, C9, Big, Navi, Furia. Like, really, this is just like 8 really, really cool teams and really cool logos. So I'm not totally shocked that this one did so well. So in this one, it seems like the cool logos and the popular teams were in one case, in one capsule, and it was able to definitely help it out. When we look ahead to Rio, do I have Antwerp on here? Did we just, okay, we just looked at Antwerp, we looked at Stockholm, we looked at Antwerp. Here is Rio. Again, these things have still done pretty well, not insanely well, but again, from 25 cents up to 50, 40, whatever, these have done good. And if you look at the graphs, they've done, you know, even better over time. Prices are a little bit down recently, but this one, you know, was all the way up to around $1. This is the Challengers autograph, but I want to look more at the team logos. So yeah, for whatever reason in this one, the Challenger autograph is currently the highest. Autographs for all of them are currently the highest, but we can see quantities here. If we look at Antwerp, 70K was the most, but in Rio, 30K is going to be our most. And actually for Rio, right now, all 3 of the different capsules are sitting at exactly the same. So for this, it didn't really matter too much where you went, but we can look at peak prices and maybe see if we can see a difference. This one peaked at around $1 after the sale. The Contenders capsule also peaked at $1.18, so this one did a little bit better. And we have the Challengers again with Cloud9 in there, Mouse, EG, Vitality, some pretty cool teams, some pretty popular teams, peaking at $1.25. So yes, there were some that did better than each other overall, but again, relatively similar ballpark. So not a ton that we can take away from that. A lot of differences here. The quantities are also pretty much dead even. So, you know, not a lot of information and data to take away from supply there. So when we look at the Paris numbers right now, we can actually see when we just look at these stickers, not so much the autographs, we can see that right now the quantities are very, very different. There's a ton of people going with the Contenders, a little bit less going with the Legends, and then a lot less going with the Challengers, which is a little bit strange to me. Right now, the Legends is the most expensive, with the Challengers being second and Contenders being least. So if we dive into some of these teams, you know, this one kind of stands out to me as overall looking pretty good. You know, Team Liquid, we've seen them in a lot of lackluster capsules, but they're in here. FaZe usually does pretty good. We have Fluxo, which is kind of seen as a cool logo and cool sticker from this one. And then you obviously have Mouse. So I do think overall the Contender capsule should be a pretty good one to come out of this Paris collection. We have the Challengers sticker series, which is not the coolest. This one I can see why maybe it's a little bit less. I do think the Gamer Legion sticker is pretty cool. Obviously, I think G2 is pretty popular. I think Apex is going to do pretty well. But, you know, you have like, you have this OG, you have Fours, you have Monty, you have a lot of teams that people aren't going to be super excited about. And so far, the numbers are kind of backing that up. There's not a ton of these being listed on the market, and they're not really doing too hot. And then finally, here we have the Legends. This is where the most people are putting their money. This is where things are kind of doing the best so far. And we have Furia, we have Fnatic, which I think is underrated so far. We have Heroic in their new logo. We have Navi, Vitality, Into the Breach. This one looks pretty good, but honestly, I think this Contenders one might look a little bit cooler with the phase, with the Fluxo, and with the Mouse. They definitely both stand out to me in a big way. So honestly, like I said, generally at the end of the day, you can't really go too wrong picking any of the capsules from any of these majors. When we looked at all those, they all follow very, very similar graphs. Yes, they hit different peaks. Yes, they hit different lows, and they kind of move at different frequencies, but they move in the same direction. And if the Contenders capsule explodes and does really well, hey, the Challengers and Legends ones are probably going to do at least decently well as well. So don't stress yourself out. Don't, lose too much sleep about which of these you're going to pick or whatever. And honestly, at the end of the day, if you want to have some peace of mind, you might want to diversify into all of them. You might want to have your money in a little bit of each of them. But it does seem like a year from now, 2 years from now, whatever, most of them are going to be more than 25 cents. Most of them are probably going to have at least doubled, if not tripled at some point in that time span. And overall, you're going to be doing pretty well as long as you have your money in the market and you have some investments that are actually doing something rather than sitting in things where maybe the fundamentals and the history is not so much there. Now, I do think that putting your money a little bit into each one could maybe make the most sense. If I had to take a number one choice, I would definitely be going with the Contenders, but I would be a little bit worried that there's a lot of people going with Contenders. But again, we've seen some examples where the quantity doesn't necessarily matter. We've also seen some examples where the quantity does matter. And then I would be going with the Legends as my number 2, and I would be going with the Challengers as a pretty distant third. But I not totally am sleeping on the Challengers just yet. Now, overall, I probably would be staying away from the autograph capsules. But so far, the autograph capsules are doing better, than some of the other capsules we see out there. So maybe they are something to keep an eye on. But again, the autograph capsules are going to go up and down very, very similarly to the sticker capsules as well. So don't lose sleep. Don't stress yourself out too much. Just, do your research. Come up with what you think is best. Come up with a strategy. Set some money aside. And, do your thing and hope for the best and keep your eyes on the market. But that is pretty much it for this video today, guys. Hopefully catch you guys in the next one. But until then, peace.